Welcome to a brand new episode of Lunch with Doug Plus, a unique and fun experience brought to you by the Music Exerbia Project. We are here today thanks to the generous support of our esteemed sponsors. John's Barbershop, located at 121 West Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri. Open Tuesday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Walk-ins only, no appointment needed. The American Legion Post number 2, located at 402 East Cherry Street in Nevada, Missouri, newly remodeled with a clean, fresh look. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Lunch with Doug. And as promised, today we have Dillon Hasten of Dillon Hasten Music. He is a area musician and he is doing great things in the area. And I am excited to talk to you today. Welcome, Dillon. How are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you?
Man, it's a great day to be alive, and I'm excited to have you. I've been hearing wonderful things. Of course, I talked to Kimra, your booking agent, or
Yeah.
maybe one of many booking agents, probably for you. I don't know, but and she had wonderful things to say about you, and so it's exciting to have you on the show. So first, I guess let's talk about first and foremost. Tell us what got you here to your. I understand you're a full-time musician now,
I
and
am. Yeah.
how did you get to that place? That's what every musician is wanting to do in their life. They're like, I want to be full time. How'd you get there? I mean, Kimra, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I mean it's a funny story when people ask me how do you do what you do? And honestly, without going back to when I was like 12, I always wanted to play music, but I didn't know why. I just knew I wanted to express myself. And I kind of by happenstance, end up falling into it really. Um, a lot of what I did, when I was in worship ministry, I was a worship pastor, and I did that, and I got into the country music scene. And I've always been really good at playing guitar, and so I've always been like a lead guy that would sing harmonies. And then finally, I remember I was in Florida one time in a VFW. We're playing in a place called Floribama, yeah, and it impromptu just singing like an hour set along with someone else, and they're like, "Hey, you should just keep doing this." And so I was like, okay, I was like, maybe I'll give it a shot. And I was like super nervous, as most people would be. And I started playing for $40 at Lucky's Supermarket here in Springfield back when it was here. And I was very sweaty and very nervous, but I got it done. And then one gig led to another, and you keep getting better, and you keep playing with different musicians, finding more friends, and then before you know it, man, you're booking whole tours, and you have a booking agent. So.
Nice. Well, and you said Lucky's Supermarket. Where was that at in Springfield?
That was now I think it's actually some kind of boot store. It's over by it's across from off of Glenstone. And it was Lucky's Market. It was cool because you can go in there and like you can go shopping with a beer. I remember because they had a bar in there and you can go around shopping with a beer or whatever. And um that's the thing that really caught me off guard. It's like that's so weird. You know what I mean? So weird. And yeah, so I think there's a boot barn there now. Yeah, but I used to play there. It was like 2 hour sets for $40. And yeah, I remember doing that and playing at a place called Boattown Brewing. One of my favorite venues ever. Gosh, Southbound, playing on Thursday nights, opener sets. Yeah, I owe a lot to the community here and a lot of the venues that took a chance on me, especially my friend Brian Hash over at Boattown. He was my first gig. Uh, Actually going out by myself. He took a chance on me, and I'm still playing there. It's been almost, gosh, 10 years now. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Nice, nice. Well, that sounds great. So now you play in that's all in Springfield, and then you play around the area. Where's some of the hot spots that you play in the area?
Honestly, a lot of times when I play in Springfield, I play everywhere. I'll play at Holdfast, I'll play at Southbound. Trying to think of all the venues I do. I've played most of them, honestly. And gosh, I'll be at Warehouse Bar here in November. A lot of my gigs now are actually going to be outside of Springfield. They're actually going to be going out of the state or into other towns in Missouri. But yeah, when I am in town, I like to kind of frequent some of my favorite venues that'll have me still. And trying to think, it's been a minute since I've been to the Riff. I played all of them. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I've heard of many of those, and some of them I have heard of. I've never been to all of them, but I've been to. I know I love the Riff. That's just a cool room in there.
Oh, it was
It's a
great,
neat,
man. I loved
yeah, neat
them.
venue.
I spent a lot of time in Lebanon and Lake of the Ozarks, a lot of time in Arkansas. Flame Tavern is another place I frequent quite often. My buddy Ryan manages it, and it is a really great place. It's actually like a bar. It's associated or connected to the Grotto in Eureka Springs, and he's also one of the people that took a chance on me when I first started. I'm still playing there as well. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in Arkansas, all over the United States. In college, I used to travel across the United States or even out of the country. So yeah, nowadays what I'm trying to do is just really trying to branch out and try to meet as many new faces as I can.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it. Yeah. Now you have music out,
I do.
available.
Hmm.
Tell us about some of your newest current stuff that you're kind of your current singles or current release.
Well, my newest single is "I'm Coming Home." I released a couple months ago, and I really love that tune. I was able to write it in like 15 minutes. It was one of those songs that just kind of came to me, and really proud of that one. A lot of my friends were on that one, and recorded it with Jeff Smith's studio, Studio 2100 here in town. And Jeff is just a really great person to work with. Um, yeah, so I've got "I'm Coming Home." That was my latest release, my first music video, and my first release this year was a song called um, "Memory of You." Yeah, my friend Kristen Sharp, she came down and she helped me create a music video for it. And it was really cool. My buddy Seth Urban helped produce it and helped add some tracks to it as well. And I'm really proud of those two tracks. The year before, I released a track called "This Old Truck," and it's kind of my first time ever dipping into the waters of releasing my own music and trying to figure out marketing and stuff like that. And it's been a really good ride. It's been really fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you mentioned Jeff Smith. I've never met him in person, but I have talked to him on the phone. He's a
Mm.
very supportive, very cool guy. And I've heard a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of his recorded work. And yeah, just a great talented fellow there.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to call him a friend. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to get back in the studio here pretty soon. I've got another song I just got done. I won't tell you the name yet because I want you guys to see it. But I'm really excited to release that as well. I'm going to send it over to Jeff to master and to mix. And then got another tune after that. We actually did about 3 or 4 tunes in the studio a couple months ago. So I'm waiting to release all of them, kind of just finding the right time for each one of them. And instead of just releasing a big album, what I wanted to do was release singles and really try to market myself in different cities and stuff like that. 'Cause I want to see everybody. You know what I mean? I want to come out and play more out of state, play more in Kansas City, play more, gosh, everywhere I can. So,
Hmm. Play more. You keep saying play more. Now you need to play at Playmore in Nebraska.
oh, there you go. Yeah, I
The
haven't played there yet.
Playmore
I'd love to.
Ballroom. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
If you're listening at the Playmore Ballroom, get Dillon.
I would love to come out. Yeah.
It's a neat old venue up there. So let me ask you about this, the process of, you were talking about working with Jeff at the studio there, but your process, and you said something about you had something and he was going to master it. Now, did you record that elsewhere and then send it over? So sometimes you actually record there, sometimes you record elsewhere. How's
Yeah.
your whole
So,
process?
so with Jeff, luckily he is just so good at everything. What we did is like "I'm Coming Home" actually recorded 100% in-house. We went in there and I've even got video of it. Us all just sitting in a room, isolated rooms, but all looking at each other, one, two, three, four, going at it, and there you go. Other songs, I kind of want to experiment with a little bit and have fun with it. And so one of the ways I hang out with my friends is that either we're playing a show together or we're recording music together. Because otherwise, as dudes, unless you're working, we aren't really, but probably you're probably at home with your families instead of hanging out, right? And so Me and my buddy Seth, we love to make it our project to get together every so often. I'll have a song or an idea and we cultivate it. And Seth is extremely talented, and not only with production, but also he's a great guitar player and a great friend. And I love his creativity. And we'll kind of put two heads together, and before you know it, the song that I was hashing out in an acoustic is now is this with our vision put together. It's now this big thing that is so cool to realize in real time. Um, and so, yeah, sometimes we'll do songs outside the studio and have Jeff mix it. He does mix it and master it and put the tape if you would like, or master it to tape if you would like. And he also does stuff in house. So, yeah, if you really need someone, Jeff is the guy. He's my guy, at least.
Yeah, he sounds like he's like I said, I've heard his work and then I've heard just talked to him briefly, but he's a cool guy for sure. Now I see in the background there, it looks like you've got a little bit of some recording stuff there. Is that where you make your demos? Is that where you get your
Yeah.
inspiration tracks?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. A lot of what I do here, I like to hash it out on Pro Tools, but a lot of what I do when I first write a song is in the memos section of my iPhone. Um, Believe it or not, you can actually drop those files from your phone into your DAW, and then you can splice them up and then kind of use like a scratch track of a scratch track, if you will. Like if I have a really good idea and say like I'm a part of the Folk Alliance and I'll be a part of like Swerfa or I haven't been to Swerfa yet, Surfa or Farm. And if I like, we'll be in a hotel room just meeting people and playing their songs and showcasing, and I'll have an idea come up, and so I'll record it to my notes section, and when I get home, drop it in my DAW, and then I'm able to kind of split it apart, make sure it's in time, and kind of further that idea. Yeah, so yeah, I use this equipment here as well, but I really try to use everything. My iPhone is probably the closest and probably most utilized thing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, that's I've done some memos on, and I tell people that sometimes too. I'm like, man, you wouldn't be surprised how good your phone will pick up stuff. So, and
Oh,
it's
they're
always
great.
with you,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, they're
most of the
great.
time. Yeah. So yeah, it's I think that's part of it is being able to when you get creative, you got to be able to capture the creativity, but sometimes you can't really work on it right then, but you still want to capture the idea for later. So
Yeah.
that sounds like you got an excellent little system worked out there.
Trying to. And like, another good test is that like, record it, but if you can't record it or can't remember it, probably it wasn't a good melody to start with or a good idea. If I can remember it and it's still kind of coming to me, but I can't remember the words, I knew I have something there. What I mean? If it's catchy and it catches my ear and I want to keep singing it, that is something where I'm like, okay, I have something here. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, I have like a mountain of things in my memos section, things that need to be finished, things that need to be rehashed. And it's always good to keep on adding ideas. The note section of my phone is always what comes like with little sayings or way to say things that I come to me or I hear them. I'm like, that's a really cool way of saying it. I like that. And I'll throw it in there. And because I think like songwriting at its core is really just trying to find a way to say it without saying it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Nice. Now, when you are recording, because I am performing too, I don't know.
Mhm.
You do you have a band that you play with and they go with you to the studio, or you just get other musicians, hire studio guys, or do you do multi instruments? How's this all come together?
So I'm really fortunate enough to have some really talented friends. A lot of times when I play out, I can put a band together, but a lot of stuff I do is just solo acoustic stuff with a little bit more extra. And I have some really talented friends I can call on that all do studio work, and those are people I really jive with and I've played with and a lot of different gigs with. And those people I trust when I go into a room, I know what they're going to do, if that makes sense. I know what to expect. And so, yeah, so I really don't play the band a whole lot. I do play with a lot of bands whenever I'm playing like lead guitar and doing some like hired gun stuff. I play bands all the time, but for my stuff, most of it's going to be solo acoustic. But I usually just hire some really good friends going into studio work.
Okay, nice, nice. Well, that's cool that you mentioned. Like, I'm sure a lot of the viewers, I would say, are probably music people, but there's a lot of people that aren't viewing, so they might not
Mhm.
understand the world of like being a artist, but also doing hired work. So let's talk a little bit about that, and also in case someone was viewing that maybe would want to hire you. So you do work as a lead guitar player for hire for bands, and then
Yeah.
when you go play your solo show, you're out there doing your songs, just you and your guitar. Typically,
Mhm.
is kind of what it is. Now,
Yeah. I mean,
what's your balance of that? I mean, is there a you do 50-50, 60-40? I mean, or is there
oh,
a
whoever
science to
calls first, I try
it?
to, I make my stuff a priority. And what I try to do is you have gigs that are like cover gigs that, um, necessarily, pay the bills, but also I try to find opportunities to showcase my own music, even if money it necessarily isn't at the forefront of the gig. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's just trying to get to know people, doing a songwriters round, going to other people's shows. And the cool thing with all the people I've played with, if I show up to a show with a guitar, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come up there and ask me to play something, and or at least play lead or do something. I think it's kind of a gift in and of itself that I was always a lead player at first, became a songwriter second, and I've played with so many bands over the years that my name is really carried on. And if someone needs someone, they recommend me to other people. But yeah, I try to, uh, during the summer, I play with bands. It's honestly probably 50-50. I play a lot with bands, and acoustic gigs are uh, easier to set up because they're only dealing with me personally instead of trying to coordinate with 5 different people, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm keeping the road pretty hot, man. Yeah, I'm looking to do about 150 shows next year. I'm almost doing 150 shows this year. Um, yeah, just trying to keep busy, and I really just enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I was just interested in that aspect of things. Now, do you do anything else musically for hire? Do you do any like studio work, or what other stuff do you do? Or
I
is
do
that
studio.
it?
No, I do so not just live performance. I also do studio work, and also I teach as well at Palin Music Center. And I've been a teacher there. I've been at Palin since 2014, so I've been there for a minute. And usually have anywhere from 30 to 50 students at a time. And so when I'm not teaching, I'll do studio work or play live for people, and or do my own thing. And so it just kind of, as one teacher asked me how I was doing after college, he's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "A lot of guitar all the time, you know, and I love it. That's why I wanted it.
Nice. Now you say you had 30 students. You don't teach them all like the same. You're one on one with each of them, right?
One-on-one. Yeah,
Okay.
one-on-one at Palin Music Center. And so yeah, each lesson is different and really tailored to the student. And I have a really great friendship with all my students, and I get to be Uncle Dylan to a lot of them, which is really cool. And I love that aspect of it. I've made a lot of really good friendships over the years because you're spending a lot of time one-on-one and get to know people. And I love loving on people and teaching what I love to do, which is guitar. And um, I could talk for hours on why music lessons are good for, especially for kids in confidence, or even if you're getting older in life, to battle Alzheimer's, or if you're, just to keep cognitively sharp, or even just to enrich your life. I mean, lessons for me changed my life and maybe want to go into music. My first guitar teacher, Michael Connors, I'm still really good friends with him 20 plus years now. And he inspired me from what he was doing, playing music, now, playing music and writing full time in Nashville and now in Salem where he lives now, but to do what I do. And that's where our job is as musicians, is to create and inspire. And that's my favorite thing about it, is just you get to impact so many people.
hmm Now, if they're wanting somebody's wanting lessons, you're at Palin in Springfield. Do they just go into the store and inquire, or do they call you directly? How does that work when they set
Either
up lessons?
one. Yeah, either one. If you want to set up lessons, you can call the store and ask for me, and they'll give you my schedule and teacher zone. You can message me directly. All my lessons go through Palin. So if you message me, I actually got a couple students I need to send to Cheryl, our lesson coordinator, that reached out to me personally, and I'll just send them over to Cheryl, and she'll set them up into the system and everything like that. And I got an office over there that people always meet at, so it's always at Palin. And yeah, I love it, man. I just actually got done teaching before we got this interview. I just literally walked in the door.
Yeah, and they I guess I've kind of glanced. I've never taken music lessons at a music store before. As
Yeah.
much as I'm in music, I just always watch. but there'll be a private room. You guys will go into like a rehearsal room, and you'll have
Yeah, yeah, and it
um
basically is just my office. It has a Ron Swanson quote about the door from Parks and Rec, and that was a gift from a student, a really good friend of mine. And yeah, well, it'd be a private lesson studio. It's not a group lesson. We do offer group lessons and stuff like that as well, if that's something you're interested in, and it's kind of seasonal. But yeah, been doing that for quite a while, and I love it, man.
nice, nice. Well, Palin's got a very good reputation, and good people work there. It's a good program. As far as I know, I've bought some things from Palin before, and they always did me right. So
Oh, believe you me,
nice.
I bought a lot of stuff from Phelan.
Yeah. And then your paycheck just goes right back to your gear, right? You just
It really does. Yeah, the first year I sold guitars there, I think I probably spent more money on guitars than what I made. I was just like enamored by how many guitars they had, and yeah, I think I've I've trimmed the herd a little bit over the years. You know,
nice. Now when
I don't even know how many I have over here. Sure there's some in the closet somewhere.
not to just dwell on, I know we're talking about your music career, and I don't want to just dwell on the lesson side of things, but I just know that
That's okay.
me personally, I get a lot of people asking me all the time, like, where do I go to get lessons and these things, and I've recommended. I was like, you probably hook up with like a Palin. They've got some good stuff going on down there,
They
but
have some great teachers. Yeah.
when they come into it, this is more for the parents that are watching, like, okay, the student's going to want to buy a guitar. Is there like a
Mhm.
some sort of rental program they can rent an instrument while they're kind of deciding if they want to get into something, or how's this all work?
So now for guitar, there is some other band instruments, and Palin has a really rich history, in renting band instruments, and they've been open for over 60 years doing so. For guitar, we do have some affordable options. You really want to find a guitar that's really kind of tailored to you, and it is kind of a 3 to 4 month commitment, I would say, to find out if you really like it or not. And so they don't have a rental for guitars necessarily, but do have some affordable options and some really great ones too. Like Yamaha guitars are absolutely incredible for the money. And I've had a lot of students um, play some Yamahas and get started on acoustic, and then they upgrade to something else or to something different. Or Squire Tellys. I'm a big Telly fan. Squire makes some really great stuff like the Classic 5 stuff that's pretty affordable. And we also, yeah, I have an amp in the room for the student. And so, that's not something you necessarily have to purchase right away, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. Awesome, awesome. This is fantastic. So let's talk about some upcoming shows. I'm gonna try to get this. I'm not sure what day this is gonna air, but I'm gonna try to air this sooner than later. So let's talk about some upcoming shows, and maybe some of the viewers can get out and see you live. That's what really matters, right? That's what we need to happen.
That's right. Yeah, I'm actually going to be a Celtic winery this Saturday, and I'll be in Ornaga, Missouri. And then I'll be at Wacky Jackson, my buddy Lyle Strickland, this Friday. And then I have to look at my planner. I think a week ahead. No, and then I'll be back in Slane Tavern next month. I've got BV65 barbecue. I'm gonna be there in Arkansas and Bella Vista. Trying to think of some other ones I got going on top of my head. But yeah, come out to the show. And if you guys are ever wondering, whenever I have a show, I post it all the time on my socials, on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find my flyers and posters there.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing. I was gonna say, where do we go to really find it? Where are you the most active on? I'm finding this to be the new thing because there's so much social media. So
Yeah,
so now we'll say, where are you most active at on
most
social
active.
media?
I'm on all of them. Actually, I keep pretty active on all of them, but my main one, I post to all of them through the same app. But if you really wanted to see most of what I'm doing in my stories, it's gonna be on Instagram. I post in there quite a bit, and you're gonna find some funny memes and other things about me. And it's really for me, it's like it's getting to know me more as an artist, as a person. I just have one account, and so yeah, find me at you're gonna see me really original, but my handle is Dillon Hasten Music for everything.
Yeah.
Took me a long time to come up with that.
Hey, that's genius, and it matches on all of them. Look at you. You're very organized
Try to be
and
streamlined, man, as much as I can.
consistent. Streamlined. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, yeah. So now when you play, well, before I ask the next question, I do want to comment on Keltoy Winery
Mhm.
because love their wine. They're fantastic.
Oh yeah,
It
they're
tastes
great.
and just nice people up there. I have not personally been to their winery. I've drank a lot of their wine. I've talked to them on the phone and these kind of things, but haven't been up to the winery. I understand they've done some like renovations and stuff, and it's getting really cool up there.
Yeah, it's actually gonna be my first time there, and I apologize for saying the name wrong, Calcoy Winery. And it's actually my first time going to be up there. It's my debut this Saturday, so I'm really excited to be up there and check it all out. But you're not the first person that's told me that. Like I mentioned that name, they're like, "Wait a minute, that really good wine place?" And I was like, "Yeah." And anyway, I have some people coming out, hopefully for me, but probably just for the wine.
Yeah, they have this canned wine, and I don't know if it's a seasonal thing, if it runs out or what. But see, I'm affiliated with the winery in Nevada, and
Yeah,
they would be because Missouri wines are all friendly with each other, so sometimes they sell each other's stuff, right?
yeah.
So blackberry wine is most of the wineries blackberries are just they don't make much wine. They run out of it quickly. So we used to run out of blackberry down there a lot, so we would get the Keltoy Blacktoy. And it tasted a little bit different than everybody's got their own little taste, but I loved their blackberry. Oh my goodness.
I have to
And
try it, man. That sounds
but then they
good.
had these cans that were like these blended stuff. So they were cans and then they
Okay,
had like they'd have two or three flavors mixed in them, and those were fantastic. And I was like, these are awesome. Like this is just great. So
okay.
so
Now I'm
if you
looking
get a
forward,
chance,
really looking forward to it
yeah,
now.
because they had some different stuff. They had one that was like I think it was what was it like I want to say it's a mango strawberry, which was really odd, flavors to
I
be,
get that though, that citrusy kind of
but
thing going
but
on.
it
Yeah,
was and if I'm wrong on that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it was good. I'm pretty sure it was mango strawberry, but I liked that one real well. And then of course that
love
was
that.
mango strawberry, I believe, flavoring into whatever into wine. That was great. So it was just great. Oh man, it was awesome. Sorry to get
Well, it
off
sounds like
that,
they're
but
getting they're getting pretty creative with it. I love that. I'm a really big fan of breweries, and my friend Brian Hash over at Boattown, they're always coming up with something. And yeah, but I'm really looking forward to Kessler Winery and trying out the new stuff, like which say was a mango strawberry, you said?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was mango strawberry, the one that I really
Yeah,
liked in the
nice.
can. And then, like I said, the one I would do the bottles of is the just the blackberry. I just love
Blackberry. Let's
blackberry.
try that.
I
Heck
like
yeah.
sweet, really sweet stuff, so and that's mostly what we would get was the blackberry just because we were out, so we would carry their blackberry.
Oh,
But
heck yeah.
they're just very supportive of everything they do and other creators, other wineries, other musicians. They're just really supportive bunch of people down there. Nice bunch.
Well, I'm looking forward to get to know them about better and get to play over there and become friends. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really excited.
Yeah, I've got something going this weekend, or I just go down there. And every time it seems like that's what my holdup is. I've always got something going. I could never go down. My buddy played down there all the time, and I'm just like, gosh, I got to get down there, and just haven't. So, and it's just right down the road. Like it's not very far from me. I'll get there one day. It'll happen.
Hmm.
So, okay. So the real question was, before I got sidetracked with the delicious wine, was what when you play, are you going to play all your own tunes? You're going to do some originals, some covers? What do we expect from your set when you perform?
You're going to hear a lot of my originals, but what I like to do is I have a healthy mix between both of them. And really, I don't even have a set list. It's all up here in the noggin. And I really just kind of read the crowd. And, sometimes with the crowd, they really are kind of favoring or leaning towards a certain genre. And I'll kind of, if it's like Americana, got that. If they wanted more of 90s country, we can do that too. I was actually at Rivers Bend Family Resort Sunday, and they really mostly wanted originals. They wanted to hear like an actual original, songwriter. So I did a lot of originals that night. So I really tailor it. custom fit for the crowd that's there that night.
Nice, nice. And when you do covers, what are some of your favorite songs to cover?
Man, I love CCR.
Hmm.
I love them. I love Tom Petty.
Nice.
I love covering Tom Petty tunes. Bruce Springsteen,
Hmm.
Tyler Childers, uh, Chris Stapleton. That's probably the one I align with probably the most with my voice. And man, gosh, even some Tracy Lawrence in there. Everybody, George Strait. I like to throw in a lot of people's favorites. So
Nice, nice. Yeah. Well, I can't go wrong with a George Strait or a Tom Petty, can you?
no, no, man, everyone loves it.
Yeah. Nice, nice. Ah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, man, I just wish I could get down and see you at that show. I'm sitting here thinking how I'm really excited. I just like, oh, he's playing Keltoy, and
Yeah, man.
you said that you were saying it wrong, and I can't be 100% that I'm saying it right, but I'm pretty sure that's how they say it.
We'll
I may
find
be
out.
wrong. Yeah, I may be wrong too. just just a little disclaimer for you guys. Because it's funny with the with Facebook and everything and how close we are to everything. Like it's at
Yeah.
our fingertips, but yet like I'm telling people down all the time. I'm talking about Blackthorn Pizza and Pub. I don't know if you've ever been down there. It's more of it's an original kind of rock venue. More they have more rock and roll
Oh,
there.
very cool.
But they're a pizza place in Joplin. But anyway, like I said, I've known the owner for years. I've known her name's Mel. Talked to her years. She books, things and there's events but I've never met her in public. It's so crazy. Been to her restaurant thousands of times.
Yeah.
Just never happened to be there at the same time. So,
I know sometimes
but
like with people you work with, if you run into them actually in the wild, as I say it, it'd be like a whoa,
yeah,
hey, why aren't you at work right now? Because that's
yeah,
where you know them from. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. You see them out of context. Well, I'm the same way too. People I talk to all the time online, then I do see them at the grocery store or whatever, and it's like alien. Like you just like you don't talk to them because you're like, oh, I don't know. It's weird.
That's a real thing because like if I see someone I know at the grocery store, if we don't make eye contact, I just kind of pretend I didn't. There's nothing against them. I'm on a mission, and I want to
Yeah,
be in that store for probably as little as possible.
yeah.
But I'm not a big shopper, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But if you do run into him, I always say hey, you know.
yeah, yeah. Always got a lot going in my brain when I'm shopping too. I'm kind of like you. I'm like trying to get all the things, and I don't want to leave, and I don't want to forget something. And if I
That's
get
how
to
us
talking,
dudes
I'll
are. We are A to
forget.
B. I'm like, I
Yeah.
need pasta sauce. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I know that feeling for sure. For sure. Well, man, I guess I have asked all the questions that I know to ask, but
Yeah.
always at the end of the interview, I like to leave it to whoever I'm talking to, just to what is the question I forgot to ask you, maybe, or something that you would like to share while you're here to the viewers.
Favorite color is green. I'm kidding. No, no, I really no notes, man. Doug, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you, brother. And I'm looking forward to what your viewers think of the interview. And hope you guys all come out to the show. And then, guys, if you get make it to that one, look at my Instagram, listen to my music, and we'll see you at the next one.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Dylan, for being on the show, and have a good next gig or next several gigs.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.